Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be making a video that is really fun, but before I start, you guys probably read the title and then you probably heard my accent, and if you don't know about my background from other videos, then you're probably wondering why I'm making a video about culture shock in the US when I have an American accent. So basically, my mom is American and I was born in the US. However, my dad is Spanish, and so when I was 2 months old, we moved to Spain. And I lived in Spain my entire life. I went to school there, I went to university there, and then about 2.5 years ago, I moved to the US to do my master's and to work. That brings us to today. And after 2.5 years in the US, there are a lot of things that have shocked me. Some in a good way, some in a bad way, some in just a funny way. But regardless of that, I decided it would be fun to make a video about some of the things that surprised me. Quick disclaimer before I start telling you guys about my culture shock. This is my experience in Washington State, in Seattle specifically. And so I know that around the country there are many different mini cultures, I would call them. I lived in Utah for 4 months during an internship, and I felt like I could understand their culture a lot more than I can understand the Seattle culture, because I felt like Utah, I think because of the religion, they're more family oriented, which is a lot more similar to Spain. So yeah, I totally understand if somebody else did not have the same experiences that I did. This is my experience in Seattle, Washington. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so culture shock number one. What shocked me the most about the US was the fact that strangers talk to each other as if they'd known each other for a long time. So for example, the fact that at the supermarket, the cashier has to ask me about my day or about my weekend plans or about my summer plans. Personally, I feel like that is extremely personal, and I don't like to answer that type of question. I usually just keep my answer very brief and I don't tell them much. But I have been a witness to people in front of me responding to that question, Americans, and they tend to get very personal and start telling a lot of details about their life or their day, which I feel is just weird. And to be honest, what's funny about this culture shock is that I actually watched my mom throughout my whole childhood do this, and my sisters and I always felt really embarrassed about it. Like, she would just start talking to everybody as if she were friends with them, and I thought that that was her personality. And then I came to the US and I realized that there are a lot more people like that here that do the same thing. So I realized it's a culture thing. So where do I think this comes from? I feel like in the US, relationships are less deep and less permanent than they are in Spain. In Spain, you have the same exact classmates throughout your entire years of middle school and high school. I think those are the names. Like, basically, I don't know what the names are, but between the age of 6 and the age of 18, you have the same classmates. So just imagine having the same classmates throughout your entire first 18 years. They become family. Whereas in the US, children don't have the same classmates. Every class, they go somewhere else, they have different classmates, and so they mix a lot and they meet a lot of people. They learn to easily make new friends and easily open up to new people because they have to, because they know that they have to continue making new friends. So point number two, culture shock number two, in a way this is kind of also related to number one, but that is the fact that strangers give me opinions about my outfit. I mean, usually positive ones, right? But people have to tell me that they like my clothes or like my glasses. They just have to. They can't help it. It's just so funny how many times I've been to Starbucks. This has happened like 3 or 4 times at Starbucks, different Starbucks, where people, like the person serving me, told me that they like my glasses. And then just the other day I went hiking and I was wearing this jacket that I really like. It's from Florida. And I had, again, 3 people compliment me on the jacket. And I can tell you that when I was in Spain, in my whole 21 years that I was living in Spain, not once in my life did I get a compliment on my clothes or on my anything about me from a stranger. Never. In Spain, we do compliment our friends. So it's all within the group of friends and family, but outside of that, you just don't talk to people. You just don't have any deep conversation, and you don't tell people that you like their clothes, or you don't ask them where they got their clothes. It's just completely unheard of. And that was something that really shocked me in the US. So next point is 3, and this one is related to food. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are curious about the food differences, and I mean, there are a lot of differences that I have noticed, but in the US, there are no fixed meal hours. So I feel like people eat whenever, people eat wherever, people eat however, like they'll stand, sit, work, whatever. They'll eat while they're doing something else, and they don't eat with people. Like, a lot of times, one thing that really surprised me was when I started work and people would eat while they were working. Like, they wouldn't even take a break to eat. In contrast to that, let's for example talk about when I was living at my grandma's house. Lunch was ready at 2 p.m. sharp, and if lunch was going to be ready before that, my grandma would have to come and tell me and ask me if I was okay with eating lunch before, and if lunch was going to happen after that, she would come and apologize, and then my grandpa would go and sit in the kitchen while he was waiting for his food to kind of give my grandma pressure. So yeah, lunch was at 2 p.m. sharp, and we all had to sit together. And if I was not going to be there for lunch, I had to let my grandma know beforehand. Another thing that was funny when I was in Spain was how at university, I knew that if I went to the canteen at 2 p.m. to eat, because by the way, if you haven't noticed by now, we eat lunch at 2 p.m. in Spain. If I went there at 2 p.m., there was a humongous line of people because everybody got there at 2 p.m. But if I got to the canteen at 1:30 to get my lunch, there was nobody and I could just be the first one. I kind of like the way that we do it in Spain. That's one of the things that I miss. I feel like in Spain, food is a time to spend time with your family and friends and to talk. And so yeah, so now moving to point number 4, this one is about fashion. So first of all, let's start with the kids. So in Spain, parents tend to dress their kids in a very specific way, and I'll put some pictures around here on how people dress their kids. And then also, parents tend to dress all of their kids the same. So say they have boys and girls, they will dress them with the same patterns, just different outfits. And like the girl will wear a dress, boy will wear pants. So what I saw in the US is that parents allow their kids to dress however they want. So a lot of times you'll see kids wearing tutus and princess dresses and dinosaur costumes and basically whatever they want. And that is definitely not something that you see in Spain. In Spain, kids can wear whatever they want at home, but once they go out, they have to follow the rules. I understand that the US has a different type of mentality. I feel like in the US, people feel like being unique is important, and that is what is praised. And honestly, I really appreciate that, to be honest, because it allows all types of people to find a place in this country, versus in Spain where you have to fit into this specific cookie cutter like shape, and if you don't, people will question why you're different. So yeah, that I definitely appreciate that from the US, but it was hard for me at the beginning, and it still is hard for me because I would never let my kids dress however they want or do their hair however they want or any of that. One thing that shocked me a lot in the US was seeing people dress in gym clothes to go shopping, to go to university, to go wherever. Like, they just wear their, not gym clothes, but their leggings, their gym leggings. They'll wear them everywhere. And I get that they're comfortable, and actually, to be honest, I've kind of been converted and I've done that many times as well, but it's something that you just don't do in Spain. Okay, last point, and this is probably one of the things that I like the most about the US. As much as I complain about some things about the culture and some things I'm just never gonna get used to, but this is something that I love, and that is the efficiency of systems. It's very difficult to deal with any type of organization system in Spain, especially when it's public. So like getting government documents renewed, getting any document from the university. A lot of times you'll wait in lines for a long time only to figure out that you're missing a certain document and that they refuse to go search it up in their system even though they have it in the system. In the US, on the other hand, everything is extremely efficient, and just the way things are set up, they're so efficient, they work so well. And I think the reason for this is the fact that Americans have this mindset of constantly wanting to be better. Every time something seems to not be working, every time something breaks, every time something bad happens, like say someone slips down the stairs, immediately everybody will start thinking about how could we have avoided this, and then something is actually done to make sure that doesn't happen again. I feel like that's just the reason why Americans are so ahead in a lot of ways from other countries, and that is because they are constantly questioning their system, trying to change it and make it better. And yeah, So that is it for my 5 points today. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this was interesting regardless of whether you're American or you're a foreigner. And let me know if you guys enjoyed it and if you want me to make another one, because I can definitely make more. You can also give the video a like or subscribe. And yeah, so see you guys in my next video. Bye.